Josh Shapiro, YNet7. Thank you for tuning. The replay. Alright, so today, right, I was thinking, I'm always thinking about something. And a while back, a few weeks ago, I came across, I'm not really, I'm not biblical, I'm not religious, I don't do titles, but normally I kind of avoid using biblical references, stuff like that. Someone was telling me that it's a very powerful tool because the Bible is a language or like an equilibrium between many different thought processes, right? Many different minds, many different types of people. So I came across this, right? It's Exodus 21, 20 through 21, right? I was talking to a couple people. I sent this out to a few people to tell them you should take a look at this. So we're gonna title this one today, How Much Bleeding? Because it's time to get off the hook. And I'm gonna tie it all together for you here, and we'll pull a card this Sunday evening. Thank you for tuning. Share. You know there's somebody that's going to benefit from this by the time you get done watching. So make sure you give them an opportunity to check it out. So let's take a look at Exodus 21, 20 through 21. It says, and if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Now I'm going to finish this real quick. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. Now, people that enjoy this channel, like you, are learning to find joy in the meaning of words. The real meaning of words. The real vibration, the real frequency that they're on, that they actually broadcast or radiate. You see what I'm saying? Because there's energy and you already know what that do. So, and if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Now, without standing, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. So, notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two means that if the servant or the maid doesn't die right away, then he shall not be punished. So let's take a look at some of these words real quick, right? Smite. All right, so smite. If we read it off the Off the definition there, it has to strike or hit hard. That was at 1200. If you go back to 800, it shows you how it comes through, where it comes from, which brings you to throw or strike, right? So to throw. So to strike, to hit, to throw. But all of those come from to soil, stain, so strike, hit hard, throw, soil, or stain. Okay? So, if we take a look at this, right? Go back to Exodus. So then it's saying, and if a man throw, strike, stain, soil, his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Strike, hit hard, throw, soil, stain, smear. Okay. Now if we go back to Exodus, it says with a rod. And I was interested in what that meant or I was curious. Because I was like, the chances are there's something hidden in that word that I might need to know. So when you go and look at rod, it says rod, which is kind of like, when I read Exodus, the first thing that came to my mind in the context was the rod you're going to use to go clubbing. You know what I'm saying? But then when I thought about it, the next thing came to my mind was the fishing rod. Dangling the carrot or the worm for the fish or the early bird. The unique thing that I found was that in the definition of rod was another word, pole. And you might think you know what pole mean, right? But let's take a look, because I think that really shows something. Let's take a look. So pole, right? Of course, it has a time period where it meant slender, piece of wood, etc. Right? But if we go back before that, it meant stake. You see what I'm saying? Like to put a stake in the heart, or the staff, or a bullet is just a modern, mighty, controllable from a distance stake. Right? So basically, a pole is a way to cause injury that may lead to death, which is synonymous with rod, rod also could be a weapon to beat or leverage, apply leverage if it's strong enough. But it can also be used as a tool of deceit to catch a prey on a hook. So let's go back to Exodus. Let's go back to Exodus. Why not 7? So, Exodus, and if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, like today, he shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, 3 or 4 a month, average lifespan of a human in 2020 is, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. Are you with me? Think about that for a moment. So, if you're hit with a rod or a stake, you either caught the trap or you're wounded. Either way, you're bleeding something out. And I say something because if you're not being drained, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're being drained. I just love the way they sound when you shuffle the cards. Alright, so it doesn't necessarily mean that you're being drained of blood. You could be being drained of your time, energy, if you're being drained of your choices, you're bleeding. Right? Your money, your resources, your power. What do we call this one? How much bleeding? See, that's up to you. It might be time for you to get off the hook and or the stake. Right? And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall surely be punished, notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. So, is there concern why it's okay for the water and food resources to be poisoned? For those who think they are. Wouldn't it make sense if viruses and illness and disease was fabricated? Isn't it all about resources? Youre said, why must we fight for the right to live over and over each time the sun rises? if somebody felt like there may not be enough for everyone, would there not be a reason that would make you feel like natural selection kicks in or what have you, and there's a fight for the right to live over and over each time the sun rises? So if there was a fight for the right to live every time the sun rises each day, if a man smite his servant or is made with a rod and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. Essential workers, hazardous jobs, becoming addicted to chemicals and foods and other drugs. They don't die today. It's okay. If the atmosphere that you breathe doesn't kill you till next month, you're alright. Let me know what you think in the comments below. We're gonna get to this card. Because if you are worrying about things that you can't control, you're bleeding. Think about your environment. Think about your day to day, your sun up to sunrise. If you have a thought, if you're spending time worried about things you can't control, you're bleeding. If this was one I had to get over, trying to, Virgo Nation, always try to be perfectionist, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually a really cool thing for those who are into it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not, it's annoying as hell. So we might in being trying to be a perfectionist, you may actually be wasteful. You may be bleeding because you're bleeding out too much time. You're overproducing quality, overproducing expectations. They may have only wanted something with a quality of a 6.5, but you're going all the way to 11 with it. And it's not. They may or they may not appreciate that higher quality. But if they don't, and they only wanted a 6.5, then that's time, energy, resources that you could have been working on the next project that you were still dedicating to this one, the past one. Why not 7 with a future? Share this link, right? So if if you're getting sucked into what other people care about, you know what I'm saying? You going to work and somebody don't ever have a good day, and you get caught into that, or they just whatever they're talking about, you're caught into that. Your friends, your family, you're caught into what them. Then you're bleeding. You're bleeding because you could be keeping all that intact and be focusing on your own dreams, goals, find whatever, conquest. Because if a man smite his servant or is made with a rod and he die under his hand, he shall surely be punished, or he shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he die a day or two, or if he can later, or if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished. But that's good money. You know what I'm saying? So, holding on or helping people who don't want to be held on to or help, you're bleeding. Paying undue attention to all the subtle actions and words of others, you're bleeding. How many of y'all watch the news? See what I'm saying? Show of hands. I don't watch the news. Very, 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 very small amount of times I stumble across something on the internet and it happens to be from a mainstream news. Spending time with people who bring you down, you bleeding. Doing work that you don't enjoy, you're bleeding. You up right now, but you thinking about unfortunate past events. You bleeding away all those positive energies and focusing on things that you don't want, which is negative. If you can't say no to people, you're going to be constantly bleeding. See what I'm saying? Because if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, what's a rod? We got the hook. We got the stake. So if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. Like, you don't already got that. You don't already bled. That person already bled out. So if the bleeding was past tense, the act was in the past, he has now received what you've bled. And if the absence of that doesn't kill you till sometime in the future, that's like double jeopardy. So, know thyself, right? Respect. Pachaparo. Widen at 7. Let's get into these cards. Oh, got a card jumping out. Let's see here. We got a 6. 6 of Cups. Take a look at that. Give me a second. Because I want to make sure I give you the most accurate broadcast possible. I like to take my time with some things. Alright, so you see that? Let's see on the best light at. There you go. Okay. So the Six of Cups. The name of the card is the Lord of Pleasure, right? The general meanings is that of memories and nostalgia. Oh man, this is so amazing. All right, so events or meeting with old friends, transience of something, right? Memories and nostalgia. The business is help that comes from the past, from old friends. Beginning of stability and good income rise. So think about Exodus. That was like Exodus was like how Israel got started or something, right? Like I said, I don't know. You let me know in the comments below if that's right or not. So, help that comes from the past, from old friends, and that's eerie because I never be doing. This is my first like scripture based content, right? I mean, I had two two preachers in my life early on say, "Hey, you need to come with me." I was like, "Man, you'll be great." But anyway, the biblical aspect of it, these stories are from the past. Look at this card: Israel, Egypt. Where's your Egypt? Where, if you got a Egypt, the rod being on the hook or the stake. Check it out. So, memories, nostalgia, meeting with old friends, transience of something, help that comes from the past, from old friends, the beginning of stability and good income rise. Because when you're bleeding, you're down, you're injured, right? You can't be fully erect if you bleeding out somewhere. It's gonna be like that joint at the car. It's gonna be like that joint at the car dealership that be like, you know what I'm saying? Alright. You see that? So in a relationship, long lasting, relationship from the school bench, gentle, friendly love, strong marriage, as a rule, but no passion. very nice meeting with old friends. That section is all the opposite of steak. Needing to shield yourself from the steak or the rod. That's like coming out. That's like being led to a promised land. You can't make this stuff up. Health. Good in general, bad if there are complications after diseases in the childhood. But if we just take that first part, you already know what time it is right now. Good in general, if you're good, it's good. But it's bad if there are complications. Psychological characteristics, young in the soul, a little bit naive, infantile. Because the experience fish in the sea or the pond or the lake has learned to survive the ride. You know? And that doesn't mean that he was never on the hook before. He might have been on the hook and he might have had to fight, or she might have had to fight to shake that hook loose. But they were off and they survived. And the fisherman, the one trying to reel in the cast, was deflated. It's not to say they've never been on a stake before. It showcases through the health the opportunity to survive. So advice is ask friends for help. Ones whom you haven't seen for a long time. And maybe that's what's going on in this card. It's a conversation being had here. That's communication. And there's two different settings, right? There's two different settings. And the reason I say that is because you have this, this right here, this red, right? You have this red here, red and yellow here. So this person is sitting here, while this person is another like flooring underneath. It's orange. There's some sort of difference between this setting and this setting, and this person is either already crossed over into it or is transcending. Because this is about memories, nostalgia, meeting with old friends, transience of something. So this conversation, this person is transcended. If we assume that the bodies are facing the position that which they're traveling, this one is turning around to talk to someone from their past to let them know how to get to the other side, maybe how to avoid the hooks, Watch for the hook. Who made that song? Let me know in the comments. I can't think about it. So, how to avoid the stake? Is this person looking back to tell their old friend how to avoid the pitfalls where there are stakes? So ask friends for help, ones whom you haven't seen for a long time, and maybe the reason you haven't seen them in a long time is because they were telling you, come on, let's go over here, and you were like, no. So all you got is some footprints left for you over there, where if you look all the way over there, they done crossed over to the other side, but they trying to give you the opportunity to learn how to avoid the rods and the stakes today, since you didn't want to listen then. Or maybe you were the one telling them then how to avoid the stakes and the rods, but they wasn't hearing you then. And now they following their footprints. Now may be the time to reach out to them people from the past that you haven't seen. Ask friends for help, ones of whom you haven't seen in a long time. Maybe you need help learning how to get to this side, or maybe you got over here and you just need a little help remembering what it was like to be over that side because you've been gone for so long. And that is going to motivate you to climb even higher so that you can drag or carry or incite more people to cross over with you, follow your footsteps. Off of the hook. Avoiding the stakes. Now the warning of this card, the Six of Cups, is do not fall into nostalgia. Do not live in memories. And that could be why there's only footprints. Why there's only footprints. That could be why. That could be why you don't see them again. Or it could be why you do, because you have grown enough that you're no longer living completely in the old way. Maybe in certain areas you've gotten close enough again to become visible. In your own personal growth and development, now you're coming closer to that frequency. The result is you will have to look at your past. You will have to. And that's why the one person is turning around looking, because you can never forget where you came from, but always know your destination. Six of Cups. Six of Cups. I need this numerology. Because remember, if a man smite his servant, so like, is that this? You guys let me know what you think. Is that the same if the employer and the employee, the country and the citizen? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Because if a man smite his servant, and we get, I like equations, not the variables, So we could say if a body smite his body or his body with a rod and body die under body's hand, body shall surely be punished. Notwithstanding, if body continue a day or two, body shall not be punished, for body is his money. Body is body's money. I just want to see how the 6 tie in exactly. Give me 1 second here. Why in that 7? If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Share it with a friend or family member. I know you know somebody that could use this. And if you need a personal reading, I do them for donations. Just hit me up. There go the detail. So 6, right? 6 is conscientious. It desires to bring harmony, truth, justice, and a sense of balance into the environment. So love and compassion are uppermost in its mind, right? And it can therefore be an effective teacher. You see, because either the one in the front or the back needs a lesson, but somebody gonna learn today, right? Now, it's also a counselor or healer. Others are drawn to it because of the understanding which emanates from it. See, look, the understanding of how to avoid the hooks and the stakes, so you can cross over into the promised land. Pasha Pyro, YNet7, thank you for tuning. The replay.
And I know the real you, the real you. You know the real you, I know the real you. So confidential. Ain't the real you. I know the real you. Why you being so artificial? I know the real you.